Hi there, this is Samurai Snake, and welcome to episode 3 of the Misadventures of Tron Bonne. Previously, we robbed the bank, and took a tour of the Gessel Shaft, or at least what all was completed. And this time, we're gonna go inside the Nakkai Ruins. If you talk to number 9 in the gym, he'll give you the redhead parts. The redhead parts will let you indicate your favorite servbot. The head servbot isn't important up until the endgame scenario. You can go ahead and choose your favorite servbot now if you'd like, but I suggest you wait until all parts of the Gessel Shaft have been completed. That way, you'll be able to choose from every single servbot. One part I forgot to show is the cafe. It holds relevance for servbot 39, because he can predict every single servbot's special skill. If you choose to go back to HQ and talk to servbot 1, he'll give you a diary. The diary is actually the strategy notes. Very useful if you give them to servbot 37 in the meeting room. If you give him the strategy notes, it'll unlock his special skill, strategy. Number 37 will become the servbot to go to in case you need some more tips about the game, or what you need to do next. And Tron thinks he's a gigantic nerd. And finally, we have one more thing we need to do in the gym. Number 9 has a skill that we can unlock by giving him a comic book. By giving him a comic book, we unlock his sniper skill. This situation is just like Ed from Ed, Edd and Eddy learning how to cast a curse by reading a comic book. It does not work that way. And you know what? The game actually admits it. Number 9 is actually one of the worst snipers in the game. But you know what the sad part is? He's not the worst sniper in the game. There's another servbot that's much worse than number 9. And of course he got carried away in the comic book. But anyways, with what money we have, we're gonna put that towards buying tank parts. Buying the tank parts will let number 30 realize his special skill, tank development. Once he realizes his special skill, we'll be able to increase the Gustav's energy by buying extra tanks. You can also take these development servbots out on missions and increase their brains so they can get their special skill too. But I find it much easier to just buy the development kits. Anyways, we're gonna go out on another mission. Normally I'd go to mission 2, where we rob the containers, but I'm gonna skip all that and go straight to mission 4, in the Nakkai Ruins. Mission 4 is considered to be a free running mission, so that means you can basically do whatever the crap you want. But what it is essentially the dungeons from Mega Man Legends. There's only one main objective: to go inside, destroy the boss Reaverbot, and get Diana's Tear, which is worth 1 million Zenny. I recommend that you keep the servbots that you already have selected. And this is the only time you're going to see this once. If you run out of stamina, the servbots take the Gustav back to the Gessel Shaft. So it's really forgiving and very nice that you won't get a game over if you fail, unlike Mega Man Legends. But should you get a game over, you'll return back to the Gessel Shaft empty-handed of everything that you found, except for the Zenny that you picked up. Whatever servbots you brought along the way will have their brain ratings increase, depending if you had them go inside any holes to find money. And with that money, we can put it towards buying the bazooka parts. So all we'll have to do is find a key item in order to create our second weapon, the Bonne Bazooka. We'll also buy the armor parts, because the Bonne Bazooka is pretty much the only weapon that we're gonna need, because it's very overpowered. And while we're at it, we'll buy an E-bottle number 2. Energy bottles function exactly like energy cans from classic Mega Man games. Except in this case, all of them restore a different amount of stamina. Whenever you're finished exploring the Nakkai Ruins, you can exit it and talk to the servbot in the Drak to go back to the Gessel Shaft. Now, what makes the free-running mission more unique is that you do not have a spotter at all. The gameplay is more like The Legend of Zelda, in that you have to defeat all the enemies in every single room before the doors open again. So in this room, all you have to do is take out the 3 walking Reaver bots that we saw in the intro stage, and the doors will open again. You'll want to also pick all the money up that they drop once you destroy them. Now, you're probably wondering why I decided to skip all the other missions and go straight to the Nakkai Ruins. Well, the reason is, if I go straight to the Nakkai Ruins and find the part necessary to make the Bonne Bazooka, the rest of the game will be stinking easy. Of course, that all depends on whether you've trained your serve-bot enough. After all, a weapon's performance is affected by a serve-bot's attack and speed ratings, with attack affecting its strength and speed affecting its rate of fire. Well, all we have is just one more room, and then we find our first treasure inside the Nakkai Ruins. These blue hovering Reaver bots will fly into the Gustav and damage it. Make sure that you target them and shoot them down quickly with a search cannon. There's also a hole in there too for the Serbots to go inside. By the way, if you haven't noticed by now, the search cannon shots are green instead of the usual yellow. The color of the search cannon shots indicates the strength of your attack. Unfortunately, we can't get a high enough attack rating to use a charged shot. Sorry. But you probably also noticed that Serbots with high attack ratings also get to throw bombs at enemies. It's a unique side benefit, especially for Serbots that don't have any skills at all. And inside this treasure chest is a brain cube. You can use the brain cube to increase a Serbot's brain ratings by 1 point. I'd recommend using it on a Serbot that has a special skill that can be unlocked via brain ratings, attack, and speed ratings. For now, we're going to explore the western side of the Nakkai Ruins, and we'll leave the eastern part for later. Much later. Because we're going to face a lot of strong enemies in the other part of the ruins. Upcoming in the next 3 rooms are special items that we'll want. In the first room, we'll have to fight some sandworm Reaver bots. Fighting the sandworms can be very tedious, because you're not going to be able to hit them unless they hit the side of the walls and rise up out of the sand. They also can be very tough if you haven't bought the armor parts yet. Thankfully, they're not that much of a bother, since we've trained hard enough.
And we get the fireworks! While it's disappointing that we can't blow them up, since they're a key item, we can use them to get the second weapon for the Gustav, the Gatling gun. The Gatling gun functions just like the machine gun arm from Mega Man Legends. So that's pretty cool, but the best part is, we won't have to upgrade it.
The second room has a chest that contains a brain cube, but it's guarded by those same blue floating Reaver bots that can be taken down by targeting them and shooting them down.
And inside the chest is another brain cube.
You've probably noticed by now that the textures for the Nakkai Ruins are pretty inconsistent with one another, and they don't stick with one specific theme, whether it's the desert, some underground ruins, or another kind of ruins, like those from Mega Man Legends. Anyways, after you take down the 4 walking Reaver bots from the intro stage, have the Serbots go inside the hole so they can increase their intelligence.
Now, from this point on, things are going to get a little bit harder, because we barely have any tank parts, and we do not have any armor parts at all to protect the Gustav.
For that reason, I decided to pick up a hunk of rock so I can use it against the upcoming Snakeworm Reaver bots. 3 to be precise. Because when you're fighting against 3 Snakeworm Reaver bots, things can get a little bit hectic. I recommend that you track one down at a time, and then destroy them one by one. So then that way you're not fighting all 3 of them at once. Fighting the 3 Sandworm Reaver bots was very tedious and took me quite a while to destroy them all. And all that was just to open the doors again. No treasures involved. And I jumped on a serve bot. And beyond this door is our first experience with quicksand. It won't sink the serve bots or the Gustav underneath. It'll sink you down, but just slow you down if you try walking up. You can even aim a beacon bomb at the quicksand and have the serve bots have some fun sliding down in it.
Just beyond this door lies my most feared Reaver bot at this point of the game. Antlion Reaver bots. These Antlion Reaver bots are so quick when they lunge at you that they can easily gang up on you and quickly drain your health. So when you're facing them, I recommend that you circle strafe around the room while firing at them. That way they'll try to chase you and fail to gang up on you. And you thought that wasn't enough? Well, you're in for a treat, because now you'll have to face a gigantic Antlion Reaver bot that spawns smaller Antlion Reaver bots. This room is the reason why I had all my serve bots attack maxed out. So then that way, they can use their newfound attacks to take out the small Antlion Reaver bots, while I can circle strafe around the gigantic Antlion Reaver bot and fire the search cannon at it. Because otherwise, if you don't have your serve bots completely maxed out in their attack, you're going to have a difficult time trying not to get a game over in this room. It also helps if you pick up the rock that's in the room and toss it at the gigantic antlion, because it'll damage the gigantic antlion quite a bit. If you've played the 8-bit version of Sonic 2 on the Master System and Game Gear, you'll recognize that this looks very similar to the Antlion boss, and is just as frustrating. Like the previous room, I recommend that you keep moving, so that the smaller antlions don't have a chance to catch up with you. The only time that you should stop is when you're firing a beacon bomb at the smaller antlions. That way you'll buy some extra time to get away from them, and get in some more shots. And with that, he's done for! After we've taken out the remaining Reaver bots, we can finally pick up what we've come for. Once we get the pipe, we can finally leave. I'll come back and visit the Nakkai Ruins again later in the game. There's also another hidden room that's obscured by a cracked wall. Normally you'd use the Bonne bazooka to open it, but I figured, hey, why don't I just use a piece of debris to open it up? But of course, being me, I completely missed. The cracked wall leads to an item that'll upgrade your Servbot stats. So, we're not really missing much. And we're finally here! Inside this treasure chest is the pipe, the item necessary to create the Bonne bazooka. I say it's the most broken because if you have a Servbot sniper that has an attack rating of 4 and a speed rating of 4, it becomes the most powerful weapon in the game. But anyways, we're done with the Nakkai Ruins for now. And we gained quite a bit of money. However, we're still going to need a whole lot more if we want to purchase the Gatling gun and the Bonne bazooka. All we have left to do now is go to the lab and give the Servbots their proper parts. Give the pipe to number 31 once he realizes his bazooka development skill. Then you'll be able to purchase the Bonne bazooka. Since I don't have enough money to buy the Bonne bazooka, I'm gonna purchase the armor so I can increase the Gustav's defenses. That leaves us with enough money to buy the Gatling parts. So that way we'll be able to give number 32 the fireworks, and then eventually buy the Gatling gun. And that just about wraps it up for this episode of Tron Bonne. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in episode 4.